kind of blue Pixel, pictures from the iPhone 8, and the future of T-Mobile and Sprint, all that and a whole lot more coming up on Tech News Today.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for Tech News Today is provided by CashFly at CACHEFLY.com.
This is Tech News Today, episode 1856, recorded Tuesday, September 19th, 2017.
This episode of Tech News Today is brought to you by the Ring Video Doorbell. With Ring, you can see and talk to anyone at your door from anywhere in the world using your smartphone. It's like caller ID for your home. Go to ring.com/TNT and get up to $150 off a Ring of Security kit. Welcome to Tech News Today. This is the show where we tell you the tech news. We check to see if you're listening. There will be a quiz at the end of the show. I'm Megan Morrone.
I'm Jason Howell. Nobody likes a quiz.
They don't?
Nobody wants to, well, actually, everybody wants to know that they're going to be quizzed because then they can be prepared for it, like take notes and listen to every word we say, even the that we do. I don't know how you write that down.
There won't be a quiz, or so you think.
Or so you think. We've got a lot of show until the quiz. I mean, the not quiz. News. Let's talk about that, and you can start taking notes. Just another Monday. Oh, wait. No, just Google's entire lineup of new hardware devices leaked by Droid Life all in a single day, ahead of the company's October 4th reveal of its new Pixel family of devices. We have the full lineup in promotion material ready rendered form, along with color combinations, storage options, pricing, and a few other tidbits of fun. We've got it all. So you want to dive in, Megan? We're going to spoil everybody's surprise.
First of all, I'm confused because it's not Monday.
Oh, you're right.
Let's just go back for a second.
Thank you. Because it really feels like a Monday.
I know. Well, I wasn't here yesterday, so you felt like it was still the weekend and you didn't need to get into shape and know what day it is.
Yeah, because I'm so used to doing TNT on Sundays without you. And then Monday, we're both here. So
I am excited about all these colors. I like kind of blue.
Yeah.
Did you already mention the kind of blue?
No. So, okay, kind of blue, white, and black. Those are the colors of the Pixel 2. That's the HTC, the smaller version. You'll have 3. So it's kind of like a muted blue, I guess. That's probably why the kinda.
Or is it like Miles Davis kind of blue?
Oh, it could be that. Probably both. Knowing Google, they like to do things like that. 64 gigs, $649. 128 gigs, $749. And mind you, this is the smaller version. So Google's definitely, and we kind of knew this already, definitely sticking to the higher prices. Though this being the smaller one, you can expect that the larger one, which is the Pixel 2 XL, the next one, it's produced in collaboration with LG, and it comes in 2 colors, black and white, which is what you see there, a two-toned look, interesting, and just black. That's going to be 64 gigs for $849 or 128 gigs for $949. Google's going for it with the pricing on these things.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't the Pixel in line with the last iPhone prices? So this.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, probably very similar. I can't remember if they matched up identically necessarily, but definitely same ballpark. Like definitely once we finally heard the pricing for the Pixel devices, it was obvious that Google wasn't following their Nexus plan of offering great specs in lower cost devices. They were going for the premium edge.
And do we have any idea whether they'll have the same camera, the Pixel and the Pixel XL?
As far as I know, both of the devices will have identical camera functionality, camera optics and all that. So
you're paying $200 more for the XL, the Pixel 2 XL, just because of the size?
Yeah, I mean, they have, that's a really good question. I think there's the larger form factor, obviously. I'm not sure if they both have the dual stereo speakers. I mean, what you had last year, when you compare it to what happened last year, the Pixel and the Pixel XL were literally the same phone, just smaller and larger. This might be a little bit different. I mean, we've heard that HTC has the squeezable frame in their device, and that's an HTC U11 feature that's supposedly going to be in their smaller Pixel. No word on whether that's going to be in the larger one. You would consider that an extra feature, so hopefully the larger one has some sort of standout feature that separates it from that, or it also includes the squeezable frame. We don't know.
So the iPhone 8 is coming out this week, and of course the iPhone 10 will come out in October, or you can order it in October. And that's really all the flagship phones that run iOS. But with Android, you have so many choices for flagship phones. I mean, you have so many choices for phones, and then the flagship phones, you have so many choices. And so what do you think will separate the Pixel from, you know, the Samsung phones, or the Essential phone, or any of the other flagship phones that are running Android? Is it that the Google Lens?
Google Lens sounds like it's going to be some sort of an exclusive on these devices. One thing that we learned from last year's announcements with the Pixel devices is that they came out of the gate with all sorts of exclusives that were tied specifically to the Pixel devices, like Assistant. Assistant, if you remember just a year ago, was a exclusive feature of the Pixel devices. Now Assistant is everywhere. And really, when you think about it, if Google has a technology that gets, you know, more data coming in, it would be really hard for them to just limit it to a certain group of phones. They're going to want to open it up. So it kind of goes count. So I'm expecting that Google Lens is probably going to be isolated to these phones, but you better believe that's going to come to other devices eventually, because that's just more data that Google can slurp up and use and you know, make money off of in the long run.
So are you disappointed about all these leaks? Like, did you want to be surprised?
I'm always a little disappointed, yet at the same time, like, I'm just so used to it. Like I was actually just thinking over the weekend, I was like, wow, we're really close to the announcement. We haven't heard anything. Maybe we'll actually get to the announcement. But I mean, I didn't actually believe myself when I was thinking that, because it always comes out eventually. It's just a matter of when. I don't know if it's better or worse than it is with iOS, because I mean, with iPhone, that happens too. And mind you, this is not all we know. We know more. There are other leaks that are involved here. Renders of a Google Home Mini, which is the smaller version of the Google Home, in 3 colors: chalk, charcoal, coral. It looks like an elephant came along to the Google Home and like stepped on it and squashed it, except that it's all mesh, or at least the top part is mesh instead of the bottom, and it's compact. 4 LEDs on top, $49 for those. So, and we had heard rumors that was going to happen. Also, Daydream View update, which I'm not going to spend any time talking about this. It's an update to the View. It's going to cost $20 more than last year's, $99 total. It's a little more streamlined, but looks a lot similar. I'm curious to know if there's something going on underneath. And then finally, this is the last one, and this probably has me the most excited, even though it's ridiculously expensive for what it is, but the Google Pixel Book in silver. Thank you. See, that transition always comes in handy, Kevin. So this is the long-awaited Chromebook Pixel, but they're not calling it that anymore, from Google. So this starts at $11.99 for 128 gigs of storage, all the way up to 512 gigs of storage for $17.49 for a Chromebook. But I mean, I know from my Chromebook Pixel that I've used now for almost 4 years, I think at this point, rock solid design. I love it. And I've been waiting for Google to put out a Chromebook. Even though it's going to be expensive, I'm going to go for it. It also has an optional Pixelbook pen with pressure sensitivity, tilt support, no lag. That's an additional $99, which I think is kind of lame. If you're paying that much, you don't get the pen included. But and mind you, this is all obviously leaked ahead of time. I'm sure there's the possibility that any of this can change, but these look pretty legit.
Can we look at this is a render? Can we look at that again? Not that, but the first
pen.
one. Looks like there's something coming out the back of it. What's going on there? Like, does it have like a little tail, or like? Oh, that's the shadow. Okay, I thought maybe it was.
You're right. It kind of does look like something extending out of the back,
like a train, like a broad. Like I would have to carry it. If you had that, I would carry it like a
maybe it's a carrying handle. Maybe it's a handle that when you close it, it's kind of like a kid's toy where it has a built-in handle, so you don't drop it.
Or maybe it's a paper cutter, like those you used to have. It goes.
Yes, it's a sharp edge. It has a ruler in it as well, so you can measure things.
Okay.
This Pixel book does everything.
Right. Exactly. Well, the for-profit online education program Udacity is now offering new nanodegrees in the study of self-driving cars and flying cars. Udacity founder Sebastian Thrun was formerly the head of Google's self-driving program, now called Waymo. He launched the first self-driving car nanodegree program last year and has already graduated almost 60 students who now work at places like BMW, Lockheed Martin, and Amazon Robotics. The new introductory program lasts 4 months. So for 4 months, you have 10 to 20 hour a week coursework to do. It'll cost only $800. After completion, Udacity says you'll get a guaranteed admission into the advanced self-driving car engineer nanodegree program. But here's the good news. Ride-hailing company Lyft will also offer 400 scholarships to the program in communities underrepresented in the tech world. So if you want to learn how to create the next flying car,
heck yeah, I do,
or the next, helicopter, you need some programming knowledge, including C++, probably Python, and algebra.
Well, I'm out if algebra is needed.
No,
it's been a long time.
It's been a long
time.
Gonna relearn. Salaries range $200,000 to $400,000.
No kidding. I'm in. Algebra.
Might want to
go.
brush up on your algebra. Might be worth it. The first class starts October 10th, and they have gotten a lot of professors involved in this, including Nicholas Roy from MIT's Department of Aeronautics and Astronautics.
Hey, I love Udacity, and I love what they're doing. They offer all sorts of nanodegrees that, Gina Trapani, when she was doing All About Android, she was going through the Android nanodegree, and anytime I talked to her about it, she was just all gung-ho about it. She said it was just a really great program. It's crazy that you can go online. I mean, obviously they're gonna promise the moon on something like this and say it will qualify you for this and that or whatever. But still, it's just crazy that you can pay $800, do an online course, and then potentially be qualified for some of these things. But it just kind of goes to show kind of the gold rush that's happening right now around autonomous vehicles, and how there probably, there needs to be a lot more people involved with it, because all these companies are so into, are following this direction so hard. It's a great opportunity for anyone that wants to get in relatively early.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a little bit of background, but yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, sounds like a good opportunity. If you can swing it, do it. I might just get into self-driving car engineering. That's probably not going to happen.
Why not? You probably, after your kids go to bed, you probably have a couple of hours.
I've used up all those hours in other things.
Really? Because, you're not on Facebook anymore. What else are you doing?
That's right. I'm flush with free time. T-Mobile and Sprint have been dancing for years at this point, with the rumors that the two might tie the knot one day and become one. CNBC released a new report saying that the two companies might be near an agreement that could be announced in as few as 2 weeks. SoftBank, which owns a controlling interest in Sprint since 2012, has been interested in selling it off as part of a merger after disappointment with Sprint's performance over the past few years. The stock-for-stock merger would leave T-Mobile and Deutsche Telekom in the driver's seat of the new carrier if it happens. T-Mobile CEO John Legere would still lead the company after the merger in this case, although you have to imagine regulatory scrutiny up the yin-yang, because this is, you're talking a significant reduction in competition in the U.S. market, and do we want that?
Yeah, I don't want that. So they're number 3 and 4 in terms of cell providers. I don't know. In the past, I would say for sure this isn't going to be okay with antitrust regulators, but we live in a different time now, and the Time Warner, thing has passed. So this might also pass through the regulators. So this will be stock for stock as opposed to selling, like Sprint wanted to, SoftBank wanted to sell Sprint to T-Mobile, but this would be a little bit different. I am a Sprint user. You are a T-Mobile user, right?
So we would become one. Our cell networks would merge to become one. And actually, if you remove that pesky little thing, of lack of options in the marketplace, this would result in 122 million subscribers on the combined network, which compares to AT&T's 136 million. So I mean, it instantly puts the combined project like toe to toe with with the other majors. Burke's saying with MVNO, like Project Fi, I already use T-Mobile and Sprint, and you're right, that would be an interesting aspect of this, how those things would combine. I feel like Project Fi though is kind of small in the grand scheme of things, pretty small market. But I mean, that's a big promise, big advantage of what Project Fi offers is network hopping between the two to find the best network. Now they're merging. Sprint owns a great amount of spectrum that could combine with T-Mobile and just make it a powerhouse sort of deal.
And I mean, using networks is very different than being under the network's thumb, like being under Sprint's thumb. We had a long discussion about the new Apple Watch with cellular today on iOS Today with Stephen Hackett, and it's just, they're just charging what they feel like charging for that. They're like, oh, a new way to charge money. Maybe it'll be $20 more a month. Maybe it'll be $10 a month. I mean, that's what T-Mobile did. They said it'll be you have to pay $20 a month. And if you don't, then we're going to throttle your data on your watch. And then they, realized they had to go back on that. So it's $10 a month. But it's just this thing that there wasn't a price. So they just all made one up. And for no other reason other than they're jerks. So do we want the jerks to get together? No, I just want one. I want to be under the thumb of one jerk. That's all I want.
Life is filled with jerks.
True. iOS 11, and speaking of watches, watchOS 4 are available for download today. I already had iOS 11 on my iPad because it automatically installs if you're part of the beta. iOS 11 installed quickly on my iPhone. It was very exciting. And watchOS 4 took about maybe 3 billion hours. That's what it felt like. It was only 3 hours. If you haven't done it, as I told Brittany, who's in our studio listening today, she has an Apple Watch. Wait till it's nighttime. Wait till you're sleeping, because you don't want to waste. I mean, if you are as addicted to those activity rings as I am, that means that for those 3 hours, I got no credit for even being alive. Everyone probably thinks I'm dead. So wait on that.
Can't even imagine.
So I think that the true winner, if we're talking about winners and losers, and how I like to talk about winners and losers, true winner for iOS 11 is the iPad with multitasking and files. And that all these features really bring it closer to a laptop replacement, which is what I want. The true loser, of course, is Flappy Bird. No longer supported in iOS 11, along with many.
What?
I know. Many of your favorite 32-bit apps. No more Flappy Bird.
Can you even still get that game anymore? I don't think you can.
I don't know. No. The App Store also had a redesign, but I still have some complaints. There's great stories about apps. If you love to read the story behind your app, then you're going to love the iOS 11 App Store. But established apps are still getting a lot of the prime real estate, ones that we've heard about. I love Monument Valley, but we all know about Monument Valley. So I want to see more pushing of independent or not well-known developers. That's what I would like to see.
The App Store needed an overhaul, right? I mean, I would imagine, in my limited experience with it versus you use and live with the App Store daily. Are you happy with kind of the changes? Do you think it's a good direction?
It's fine. It looks like a magazine. It looks like the Apple News app. I sort of lived with the App Store, but I never went and browsed around the App Store. That was just never anything that I would do. I always get recommendations from people I know or other sources that I know or from, viewers. I don't go and I never went around and browsed around in the App Store. So I might do that now. There's also a new control center in iOS 11. But the Apple Watch has some features that I like. The pin pad is bigger. So if you have to enter your password, it used to be tiny little numbers that you could barely see, and the numbers are bigger now. Great for old people. You can also control your car stereo now with your Apple Watch, which is great. So if it's paired with Bluetooth, if your phone is paired with Bluetooth, then you can control it from your watch. And then there's the feature also you can learn more about on iOS today's episode, where you can turn on the feature that will respond to any of your texts. Just automatically put your phone into do not disturb mode.
Nice.
When you're driving and when it's hooked up to Bluetooth.
Yeah, I like that.
It actually doesn't have to be hooked up to Bluetooth, because what Stephen Hackett said was he had it and he was riding his bike. and it would turn on the blue. It would automatically put his phone into Do Not Disturb when he was riding his bike. And I asked, well, are you Snapchatting when you're riding your bike? Because I don't think that's safe either. And he said he still wants to be notified. And, you know, it's very easy to pull over your bike if you need to respond to a text. So you can set it to just when it pairs with your car.
Right. Or pull from location and accelerometer data to know that you're moving. Did you notice that Siri got an update? Siri's speaking a little different?
No, I didn't. That shows you how much I use Siri.
Apparently Siri sounds better now because they've redone how she responds, how she talks.
Let's see.
Oh, well, then we better.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
What was that, Siri?
What?
Nothing.
I'm not sure I understand.
That's
I'm not sure I understand.
Pretty familiar what
She's got an
hear
accent.
from her.
Do you program? Do you select for Siri to have an accent?
I thought I guess
prestigious.
I do. I guess I did. Yeah.
It's very prestigious.
I don't know. I really. I could edit Siri too. Look, tap to edit. Oh, interesting. Yes, she sounds smarter.
Exactly. So much smarter. A few other things that I noticed. You press sleep or wake button 5 times. That'll activate the emergency mode that we've talked about before. It disables Touch ID, gives you access to 911, also medical information from that screen. And then easy wireless password share on a wireless network so that if somebody else connects to your wireless network or whatever, you get a little pop-up that asks you if you want to share your password, and you just send it right over to them, and it logs them in for you.
Oh, it logs them in, but they don't see the password.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. I don't know if they actually see the password or if it logs them in with the password.
I would hope it just logs them in.
But
my home's password is so secure, and I wouldn't tell anyone.
It's 89 characters. I've said too much.
After the break, a CNET photographer took the new iPhone 8 for a spin, and he tells us his thoughts on the new camera in the 8 Plus. But first, let's take a minute to thank Ring Video Doorbell, the sponsor of this episode. Ring's mission is to make neighborhoods safer. Today, over 1 million people use the amazing Ring Video Doorbell to help protect their homes. Ring knows home security begins at the front door, but oh no, it doesn't end there. That's why they're extending the same level of security to the rest of your home with the Ring Floodlight Cam. And guess what? I've got one of the Ring Floodlight Cams right here. This is serious, I know, because it weighs a lot. It's a camera and it's a light. So the light will shine on people, whether they're zombies or people, guests, whoever. It's
Zombies.
motion activated.
we all know it's zombies.
Yeah, zombies. But not just zombies.
That's true.
If your daughter is coming home late, it'll shine in her face too, which some people might need. It's motion activated camera and floodlight that connects to your phone. You get HD video and a 2-way audio system. It lets you know the moment anyone steps on your property. You can see and speak to visitors or zombies, even set off an alarm right from your phone. With Ring's Floodlight Cam, when things go bump in the night, you'll immediately know what it is. Zombies. Whether you're home or away, the Ring Floodlight Cam lets you keep an eye on your home. Ring Floodlight Cams offer the ultimate in home security with high visibility floodlights and a powerful HD camera that puts security in your hands. You're probably going to want floodlights anyway, so why not have them attached to your camera so you can see and talk to them? It was named the Wall Street Journal's Best of CES 2017, and we love the Wall Street Journal's tech reporters and trust them, so we think they know what they're talking about. And we think you will like it. Monitor every corner of your property with the Ring Security Kit. All kits include a Ring Video Doorbell. We've got one of those. Ring Video Doorbell 2 right here. And your choice of either 1, 2, or 3 floodlight cams. Connect your Ring Video Doorbell with your favorite smart locks and hubs for added convenience, monitoring, and security. With Ring, you're always home. Save up to $150 off a Ring of Security Kit when you go to ring.com/TNT. That's ring.com/TNT, and we thank Ring for their support. For many of us, the phone is really just a camera in our pocket, and the iPhone 8 Plus camera is supposed to be pretty darn great. CNET senior photographer James Martin took the new phone for a 72-hour spin, and he joins us today to let us know what he thinks of it. Welcome to the show, James.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So you have a review unit of the iPhone 8 Plus, and you took it out in San Francisco to show us how well it takes photographs. Tell us where you went.
I started my day last Thursday. I woke up before sunrise and went up to the Morrone Headlands, which is there's a lookout point up overlooking the Golden Gate Bridge, kind of towards San Francisco. There's a very popular photography spot for landscape photographers, usually with DSLRs. I figured I'd take the phone up there and see what the iPhone 8 Plus could do.
Dang.
So started my day there, kind of continued on into the city. I went out to Ocean Beach, followed some fishermen around, Sutro Baths, Land's End, and then kind of hit a couple of just iconic landmarks in San Francisco and colorful neighborhoods, North Beach, Chinatown. And then the following day, Friday, we went out to, we rode the ferry out into the San Francisco Bay to Angel Island State Park. And I kind of took it around the park, a little bit of nature, San Francisco nature, landscapes, water, stuff like that.
So did you bring any other cameras? Was there any moment where you just cheated a little and said, oh, I'm going to use my, my standard camera for this?
So my intention was not to do a comparison with any phone cameras. This was kind of just a photo walk with the iPhone 8 Plus. I did have my my DSLR Canon 5D Mark IV with me, mostly just because I carry that everywhere. Yeah, so I did have another camera. I didn't use it a whole lot. My day was my intention here was to spend the day with the iPhone 8 Plus, kind of see what it could do.
How was the color noise on the shots that you took?
That was probably one of the most impressive things, is the amount of detail, like the sheer data that the sensor is collecting is really incredible. It's even in low light and in dark shadows. I found that there was a lot of data there. I was able to, in post-processing, bring some of these up. Now, I did not post any pictures that I posted from this day have very little, if any, editing done to them. Most of these are straight out of the iPhone 8 Plus. Some of them have one of the filters in Apple Photos applied, but I didn't do any kind of extraordinary. My typical workflow is into Lightroom, which of course is a very powerful photo editing tool. I did not do that with these photos. So they have very little photo editing. I didn't do a whole lot to them other than apply a basic Apple filter to them.
Now, I'd also read, actually just today, and I wish I had written it down because I would know the terminology to refer to exactly, but I had read that iOS is doing something different with how it stores image files that you take with a camera to save space. Did you notice any kind of improvements as far as kind of the amount of storage that's being used for all these photos, these high-res photos that you're shooting?
There's a new file extension. I forget what it is now, but the photos were very, very small. Most of them, I believe, were between like 1 and 3 or maybe 5 megabytes, which is incredibly small. I mean, my DSLR, will take gigantic, many multiples of that megabyte size files, 20, 30, 40 megabytes. For how small they are, they seem to contain a lot of information. And I think that's kind of where all photography is becoming computational photography in a way. The future of photography is certainly computational. And I think Apple's kind of working towards this sweet spot of getting continually better sensors in the iPhone and the processing power to manipulate that captured data in all kinds of ways. And right now, HDR is kind of like the most basic understanding of what computational photography is for most people, I think. And most phones do some kind of HDR where they're choosing a properly exposed highlight area such as the sky and some properly exposed shadow area and putting it together in a way. And I think with better sensors and these new chips that Apple is now developing in-house, that combination is really working.
So the portrait mode and the portrait lighting tools, as a professional photographer, what did you think of those? They're pretty cool.
It kind of depends. We visited Thursday afternoon, we went to the Museum of Ice Cream, which recently is just opening in San Francisco. And it's kind of this colorful, playful, kind of ice cream museum. And I was playing at the portrait mode, and some of those backgrounds tended to be a little bit busy, I think, for the portrait photography. Later, when I took people out and just kind of separated the background from the subject. Portrait mode has certainly improved. The bokeh effect, the blurred background, is definitely better than it was. It's more natural and less distracting and gimmicky looking. Like I think maybe in the iPhone 7 Plus, the first iteration of portrait mode, it was a little gimmicky looking. It definitely is less distracting, more natural, shallow depth of field type of bokeh, like you would find on a DSLR. A mode called Stage Light Mono, which separates the subject from the background. It kind of makes this black background, this very theatrical stage light. And sometimes people with black hair, that hair would blend into the background in an awkward way, or the etching around them was a little bit awkward. And you see the boy that I had posted on CNET. It really is some dramatic, for the fact that I'm just standing on the street, this is kind of like a very drastic change from that. This looks like we're in a studio and doing a professional headshot with lighting. It's pretty cool. I think most, definitely non-professionals are going to love these lighting effects, and even professionals are going to understand their power, I think.
Well, this is amazing. You can check out all of James's photos at CNET, and you should go to remainlight.com, Kevin, real quick, and we can take a look at
Remain in, yes.
Remain in Light. Remain in Light. And this is, if you scroll, you can see his portfolio. Take a look at his portfolio, and you can see. Really, I think for average people, for your phone in your pocket is great, but like these portraits are amazing, and I think we still have room for professional photographers like you, professional portraiture. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, James. Check out James at CNET or remaininlight.com. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, James.
All right.
Okay.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you, James. All right, it's feedback time. John from the UK writes about the new iPhones. Everybody's talking about the new iPhones. He says, the iPhone 8 is too expensive for what is an incremental upgrade to the iPhone 7. For most uses, the only thing that makes a real difference is the wireless charging, but is that worth the money? The new cameras are nice, but the cameras on the iPhone SE and 7 are good enough for normal people. The A11 is so overpowered, and I don't know anyone who is interested or even knows what AR is, so that's a moot point. For most people, all they use a phone for is Facebook, photos, messaging, calls, and the odd casual game. All phones since the iPhone 6 are good enough. And I'm not sure everybody totally feels the same way as you. I think some people just want progress or see progress in the next level. And there's enough incremental updates in there that I think people can latch onto and say, that's good enough for me. But yeah, I've definitely seen a little bit of that bubbling around about this just kind of being a not a very big step up, but I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think that the reviews are in, so you're welcome to read those. A lot of people are saying that it's just a 7S. Mm-hmm. It's nothing more than that. I'll get mine on Friday, and I'll be able to tell you what I think of it. There's a lot of people just waiting for the 10, but it is true. I do agree that there are a lot of people that just basically use the phone for basic things, and they don't need any of this. Mm-hmm. I've said this before. My husband has a 5C, and he finally has to upgrade because it can't get iOS 11. So he's, I'm going to have to tear it out of his cold, dead hand, essentially.
And you're going to get him an iPhone 10, right?
Yes. No.
Go to the extreme with him. I would love to see how that would go.
I know. No, we'll see what he gets. I'll take you all on that journey of what happens when you go from an iPhone 5C to whatever's next. So I think, maybe I'll never even talk to him again. Maybe it's good that he has a phone that he can't do anything with. TNT's fan of the day is Scott A. on Twitter, who sent us this picture saying, watching tech news today during chemo. Thank you so much for sending us this, Scott. Both Jason and I had a little conversation with Scott. He is being taken care of by his wife and his youngest daughter, and has people around him telling him jokes and cheering him up, and hopefully you will get done with that soon. Yeah,
thanks for inviting us into that as well. Hopefully Hopefully I can make enough of a fool of myself to kind of get you to laugh. I do that every day. I make a fool of myself. I don't know if you've noticed. I'm happy to do it.
Yes. Record a video or take a picture of yourself or your setup like Scott. Post it on Instagram, Google+, Twitter, or Facebook. Use the hashtag HowIWatchTNT and we will find it.
Yeah, thanks for sending that in. Now, as Megan said earlier, iOS 11 is upon us, and that basically means anyone running the new software is now ARKit capable, and contrary to what John in the UK wrote, I think some people are excited about that. That means that those demos that you've been getting excited about in the past few months of augmented reality tricks on the iPhone have now kind of started to materialize into fully fledged games and apps that you can run on your newly updated iPhone. Mac Rumors has a rundown of some of the first wave of ARKit apps to check out, and I was just kind of looking through a few of them that stood out to me, and it actually in many ways reminded me of what I've seen playing around with Project Tango on Android. Egg Incorporated, which is one of my recent favorite games, now has an AR mode. It's kind of like a simulation game around building an egg farm, which is actually very addictive and a lot of fun. The mode's called Farm to Table, so it takes your farm that you've built and it puts it on the table in front of you. So good play on words. I like that. Overstock.com, of course, you're going to see a lot of this where apps like Overstock or furniture stores or whatever place 3D models of their products in your actual room, and then you can kind of preview them there, see how they look, and then, of course, buy. We'll see a lot more of that. Edmunds, for shopping for cars, has a mode to place your car, the car that you're thinking of, in your garage and, test it out in your driveway so you can get stoked and, of course, then maybe hand over your money.
To see how it looks in your driveway?
Yeah, you want to know how that car is going to look parked in your driveway.
Okay.
At the end of the day.
Sure.
This is an important part of the equation. Night Sky 5, which they call the personal planetarium, that'll actually put like a solar system in the middle of your room, so you can like walk around it, get up close to planets and stuff. You can even see space missions and everything right in front of you. That sounds really neat. And then again, kind of similar to Overstock, IKEA has a shopping app later this month called IKEA Place that allow you to place their products, and people go nuts for IKEA, so I'm sure people will check that out.
So yeah, Splitter Critters was another one, which I have. That's a game, and I played that on the floor of our office before when you weren't here. And Carrot Weather also
Carrot Weather
allows you. So I put you can go outside and have the weather appear on your screen. So I have found the weather in your desk earlier. I can do all kinds of crazy things when you're not in the office. House, the House app. You don't have to wait for IKEA. The House app, I use that a lot. That also has AR. Yeah, it's all on my iPhone.
You got it. You get AR and you get AR.
It's awesome, but you can't really see it, unfortunately.
Right.
But you know how much I love AR because I all weekend played with the Bitmoji on Snapchat that we showed on Friday, and it's just, it's fun for like 5 minutes.
Right. That's been my experience too with the stuff with Project Tango, is that it's really neat that you can do it, and it kind of seems like these devices should be able to do it, so they're finally capable of doing it. But I'm not sure how much of I've got to do this every single day, for the rest of my life. This is a must-have feature. I think it's just going to be an additional feature that's kind of neat in certain circumstances, like that Egg Incorporated Farm to Table, for example. That's neat that you can do that. I'm not sure that you would ever play that game for hours and hours with your hands out here staring at the farm on your table, that just gets tiring. But it's a neat thing to be able to jump into this alternate reality and use it for that purpose, and then pull yourself back out.
Once it will turn me into an actual heart surgeon where I can use AR and the surgeon will tell me which things to pull out, then it'll be great.
Yeah, coming soon.
Okay.
Coming soon. Dr. Megan Morrone, heart surgeon. TNT records live every Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, 2300 UTC at twit.tv/live. You can be part of the show by emailing us, tnt@twit.tv. You can leave us a short voicemail, 260-TNT-SHOW. And you can find us on Twitter. We're at Tech News Today TV.
If you like us, subscribe to our show. It's free. It's free. We're not asking for any money, just for your subscription. just for your time, just for your eyeballs or earballs. twit.tv/TNT. Subscribe for yourself, subscribe for your friends. And if you want to tweet at me to find out what an earball is, I'm at Megan Morrone.
I think I know what an earball is. It's one of these things.
Yeah, that's an earball.
I'm at Jason Howell on Twitter. Thanks to Kevin for all the work that he's probably going to have to do editing today's show. Really appreciate it. And for being today's TD. You pulled off a lot today, man. We appreciate it. Thanks to Burke for helping out in the studio. And thanks to you for talking tech with us today. We'll see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.